Hi, True 99.9 on WILD. We're not only do we drive you, by God, we drive you absolutely wild with thoughts and topics and all that kind of trippy madness. My name is W.C. Ingerson, Engerson. Oh, and I'm out here on Old Trailatier Central today on Old St. Brainerd Road, as I like to call it. And, well, let's see if we can find out what it is. It is 10:17 a.m. on your 2018 dial this morning. And, oh my God, I'm trying to look for the date. Don't you hate it when you're trying to look for the date? Let's go see if we can find out what date it is. Shall we? Yes. Let's go find out what date it is. It's November the 8th. It is November the 8th on your 2018 dial. Yeah, it sure is. And, yeah, I'm out here at the old Speedy Cafe. I'm having me some of that Colombian blend coffee. You know, that kind you go home and tell mom and dad about, you know, sure enough. And, well, it's a cloudy day. It looks like it could almost snow if it wanted to bad enough. It does. It sure does. It's kind of got that look, you know, that yucky nothing look. I mean, it is kind of yucky nothing. It's that gray upon gray. The gray upon gray. Oh, talk about a touch of gray. Yeah. Well, I don't know about if it's grateful to be dead or not, but really, sure enough, it is. And the trees are starting to show their dead fall colors. They sure are. A beautiful way of dying. The trees. Oh my God, look at all the different colors that are starting to pop out. Sure enough. Normally we would see these colors change in October, but because of the climate change and all that trippy madness, yeah, the trees have decided to, turn later in November. And, well, let's see what's going on with it all. Not a whole lot. I heard something about the cover of today's newspaper. Something about unfaithful GOP persons or something. They're not. The gist of it is Donald Trump. They weren't happy with the results of the votes or whatnot for the elections or something of that madness. I'm sitting here saying to myself, well, you're telling everybody the economy is great, Mr. President. Mr. Trump, you're telling everybody that, oh, we've secured jobs and you're quoting a bunch of numbers, right? I mean, that all sounds good, fine, fun, and dandy. But isn't that the same, isn't that the same conversation that Barack Obama had with his populace? Oh, the economy's great. We're doing this. We're doing that. Yeah. I don't know if George W. Bush said that. He did. I do recall him saying that we were addicted to oil. I do recall him saying that we had an oil addiction. Of course, and it seems the Bushes had an opium addiction along with the CIA and their clandestine operations, or I mean, how clandestine was it in Afghanistan? Oh, the real reason 9/11 happened was over the opium. They wanted that opium trade. Oh, that heroin trade. Talk about opium oil addictions of the GOP, or is that the DNC? Oh, it's about the same, isn't it? when you look at it deep enough with more logical perspective instead of this federal progressive socialist dreamy world that y'all so cherish. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. and know that the truth probably sucks, but at least you're getting the truth. You're not getting some of that pretty liberty kind of madness. Anyway, yeah, but so the Don's not the Donald, the J Trump nation is not too happy with the GOP turnout. Well, that's understandable. But now, had he come out and said the true hard facts about it, as I have said, that the GOP has been supporting communist labor in China since 1975, that'd have been more, and that we need to change that, and we need to, our American companies need to come back home, or they need to just cut their ties with the United States altogether. That'd have been more of appropriate handling of it. To be real in America again, not to sell you liberties. Now, when you're printing magical money out of thin air and not even really printing it, they're just digitalizing everything out of make-believeville. Oh, how nice. I'm sure the Rothschilds of Abraham Lincoln's time would have loved that. Or the Great Depression, Woodrow Wilson's Ku Klux Klan democracy would have loved that. Give everybody debit cards and credit cards during the Great Depression. Oh, what Great Depression. Wilson would have loved that, wouldn't he? He would have loved that, those federal socialist progressive Ponzi economics of the federal government of the United States of America, something of that nature. Or is it the Federation of Russia? Or is it I'm waiting for them to come up with a new federal word. See, they got the Federation of Russia, the federal government of the United States, the Federal Reserve. I'm waiting for that new federal word to come out. The Federal Cropoplex or something. The Fed multinationals. The federal citizenship has its globalistic rewards, Mr. Trump. Your puny United States of America cannot even muster that. I mean, that's really what they're all about, the Federal Reserve and their foreign banks. They hate America. America's nothing but a butt wipe to the Federal Reserve. It really is. I mean, if you dig deep enough into it, it is. Why did they even have to call it a Federal Reserve? Really, it's not federal at all. It's European. It's not American. It's not United States, is it? It's not. But it is what it is. So, had the president come out and said more truce instead of jumping inside the swamp and taking a straw to it, and sipping on the old socialist, the New York City socialist sucky society of it all, sucking up swamp juice, it just turns you into a bigger monster. That's really all it does, unfortunately. So with all that said in mind, he was talking about the GOP faithful or unfaithful of the GOP. Well, it's pretty hard to be faithful to your government when they're supporting communist labor. I mean, tariffs is an interesting concept, but overall, the GOP is supporting communist labor in China. Now, I don't know how that makes Donald J. Trump feel. Maybe he's a communist. Maybe he's a Chairman Mao communist-loving kind of guy. Oh, how nice of him. Really? Will that make your relations with North Korea's economic system or Japan's economics, socialist economics, or maybe communist China's communist, socialist, progressive economics? I wonder, is that going to make things more righter than rain or rainer than right? Who knows, really? But I know, had he come out and told the truth about the matter, about the economy, instead of giving us the fake news of the New World Order, progressive socialist, Washington, D.C., whatever madness, he'd probably gotten more votes had he been more real with the American people Instead, just telling people what the corporations of the globalistic society want you to say. So as much as y'all people says, well, I don't talk about religion and politics. I only think about the future. I think about the past. I think about history and its past. And I'm trying to right a wrong from the wrong of history, which makes your future seem more of a, you've got a better footing if you know where the trail was and where the trail is than just sitting there jumping off of the side of the cliff. We'll think about the future. You know, so I'm not into buying soap operas and lollipops from President Trump. I'm not. I'm all about what's real again. I mean, you can take a President Reagan slogan, "Make America Great Again," and run with it. I would rather make America real again. And I mean that means a balanced budget, balanced economy, and a balanced military, and all that good balance and stuff. Yeah. So, with all these massive tax cuts went out, I sure hadn't seen it at the local grocery store or anything, or even at the store. Well, was that trickle down tax economics, or is that what is all that is? Is that like making your communist labor in China more cheaper, or increasing the value of slave labor in China much more? Well, we call it slave labor. Wage slave labor. Huh? When they're playing around with the economics, know that there's something amiss. So you don't know that your president, when he comes out and sits there and starts sounding like Barack Obama, well, the economy's great. All this stuff. They're full of liberties, and they're really run by the same puppet show system. Anyway, it is what it is. So y'all get out and vote however you want to vote, but don't worry, it doesn't matter because the elite vote for the elite. And they don't really need my vote. They don't need my vote. They really don't. And I don't want to vote for governments that support communist labor. I really don't. And neither should you. And that's the way it really is in the red, white, and blue. And it's, what time is it? By God, let's find out. It's, it's 10:30 a.m., November, what did I say it was, the 8th or something like that, on your 2018 dial here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And y'all please God bless America the best way you can or know how. And I'd appreciate it. Please keep the fine American arts alive, if you would. And those people that paint it too, And, yeah. And Yeshua lives. He sure does. And y'all take care now. And here's my salute to the troops. And, yeah. And say hi to your youngins for me. Y'all take care. We'll talk at you later. This is Billy from the Hilly of Chattanooga, Tennessee. See you.